What's happening, guys and gals? Bonafide Hustler here, and today I'm going to show you a pretty big haul that I found from a garage sale. Garage sales. Last Saturday I went to garage sales, and we're going to get to the haul in 1 second. But yeah, I found a lot of stuff. What you're seeing is basically like what I took home because my brother was with me, and he took another, whole half of the haul to himself or the things that he wanted to hustle. But anyways, I'm going to show you some stuff that we're going to definitely be selling on eBay, Amazon, and my antique booth. So I can't wait to show you the stuff. Make sure I sound good, right? Because I don't know that yet. If you're watching this and it's live, there should be a little chat thing. Feel free to make comments and whatever. So yeah, we'll get right to the haul right now. So I went to garage sales. I wouldn't even say I did a fair amount of planning. The way that I plan for garage sales, and I treat, first of all, let's preface the entire thing with, I take Saturday mornings extremely, extremely seriously. Like, it's a really good time to make good money, especially if there's neighborhood-wide garage sale season. So if you're sleeping in, or if you're not taking, the time to prepare, clear out your car, make sure your stuff's gassed up, make sure you have all the things that you need to take the items home. I think you're really doing yourself a disservice. Like, it's an easy way to make money. Not all the towns in America are going to have this opportunity, but clearly if you don't live in a crazy seasonal kind of place, you might actually have garage sales around you. And on a Saturday, or even a Friday, or even a Sunday, it might be worth your time going out. And, here in Austin, Texas, it's certainly worth my time to go out. And I'll show you today's haul, or the haul today that was from last Saturday. And there are a lot of great things. And a lot of the stuff's going to make it to those three places: Amazon, eBay, and my booth. So if you guys can hear me right, I sound crisp, I'm going to show you some of this stuff. Okay, so the very first thing that I did, it was a 7 a.m. Tennis court kind of sale at a middle school. And I really like this middle school because every single year, they've been doing this for many years. I've been going to garage sales for about a decade, right? And this was like a middle school sale, but they have it on the tennis courts at the middle school. So they said it opens up at 7. We were there at like 7:04, and I was like, damn, we're 4 minutes late. I really hope I find some stuff. And like the minute I walked in, man, it was crazy, like the stuff I was finding. So I spent $80. My brother spent $40. And this is what I got from just the first sale of the morning, okay? So I don't know if you can see in the distance, but there's a stool right there, okay? It's a metal stool. We got 6 of those things, right? And in fact, my wife was with us, and she pointed them out. She's like, you should really get that for your booth. Now, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be charging for those metal stools, but they're really nice, and they're extremely heavy. They're not really the grade that you're going to be finding at Target or Garden Ridge Pottery or anything like that. They're much stronger, much better, way more industrial. So that was part of the $80 haul. I got 6 of those things, and they're all kind of beat up. They got the right patina. They're scratched up. They got rust in the right places. I mean, they're beautiful. So there are 4 in my SUV right now that are waiting to get tagged to go to my booth. Now, my tags say, I think 55 on them. I am running off a 40% off sale on my booth right now. And I'm kind of thinking maybe heighten that up. I'm not 100% sure. So let me know what you guys think in the feed. What would you charge in an antique booth for those type of stools right there? They're kind of like a baby aqua blue greenish kind of thing. They're really cool. They're really neat. So I got 6 of those. That was one of the first things. They were kind of heavy and kind of annoying to like transport back. But anyways, that was the first thing. Also part of the $80 expenditure was this, and I haven't delved further into it, but it appears to be an old erector set for the Cape Canaveral set. So I would assume that's the rocket of some sort. I haven't looked into it too much, but I do see a lot of erector pieces and old stuff. And this looks like this could be in the back from, this could be back in the 70s or something. In fact, we can look at it right now together. So don't know if you can see this, but got this erector set that's sitting here. It's a Gilbert erector set. Let's see if I can find the year here, but I can't. It might actually be on this manual right here. But this is one of the things I got. Pretty cool. This is definitely probably an more eBay related item once I kind of sift through it and sort the pieces out. Copyright 1959 is what this is saying. So this is pretty old stuff, right? But yeah, erector was pre-Lego, and it was definitely one of those things. I had an erector set back in the day, and I found it a little annoying to mess with because it's basically like a wrench, nuts, and bolts, and you're building things. And it takes like forever to like put this stuff together. But I mean, I can see how kids would really like it. I don't know what's in this blue thing right here. but I think it's part of that erector set. I mean, I have no idea. It just came with a deal. I'll look. Sounds like tools and stuff, or maybe a battery of some sort. Oh, I think it's the motor. Never mind, it's the motor. So, it's possible that if I don't deem that the erector set's really worth reselling, maybe the motor is. So I'll look into that, or maybe someone in the feed right now can help me out. The Cape Canaveral erector set from what seems to be maybe the 60s. Let me know what they're selling for. I would assume maybe like $60 or something like that. But you got to understand that they're also, it's pretty heavy. So if I decide to ship it off, I mean, that's going to be a commitment. I might just put it on my booth, put $60, and maybe someone will buy it there. But that's just a guess. So one of the things when you find yourself in a place that has a lot of good profit potential and you've scanned it once, like a really big, imagine a tennis court, twin-sided, like filled with rows of tables with stuff on it. So you can imagine that when I did my first pass, I was like naturally thinking like I got to do a second and then a third and then a fourth, because on those subsequent passes, you find things that you didn't see the first time or the second time or the third time. And on my fourth pass, I found this just kind of buried under some books, and it's just a jewelry box, no lock on it. It's made by Go Dinger, whatever that is. I think it's Go Dinger. Yeah. So Godinger or whatever it's called. I don't know if it's silver or anything like that, but it looks pretty nice. Don't know what to ask for it, but my first inkling is somewhere around 40 to 50 in my booth. So pretty nice. I might look it up on eBay and check this thing out. We'll see what it comes out at. It could be $30 on eBay. It could be 20. I don't know. But it feels relatively heavy. It feels good. So yeah. And the thing about sales like that are fundraiser or sales where there's just a lot of inventory, you're going to notice that there's usually no prices on anything. So, and the things that do have prices are going to be kind of big ticket items. So every book, every DVD, every little tiny thing never had a price on it. So it's always in your best interest in those kind of sales is to come to the front, put your stools there, put your erector set there, and like, we'll make a deal at the end, right? And they go, yeah, we will. So you want to do the bundling tactic, which is, I think everyone by now should know what that is. So anyway, got that. What else did I get from that sale? There's so much stuff I got from that sale. You guys are going to flip out. So got this right here, a deluxe CNET. This is sealed. This is going to Amazon. Going to be asking, I think, I forgot what this thing comes up as. And we're going to do it live right here on the broadcast. There were so many things I found that day that I can't remember what everything's going to yield. But this one right here is going to give about $16. All right, so this is a $16 kind of thing. 186, 143 in toys, 186K in toys. So, I'd imagine this would be sold by December. So yeah, this is 1672 in profit right there. This one is just a random Xbox game that I found as soon as I walked in. It's called BlazBlue. It's in perfect condition, and it has no manual, but it does have the case. So BlazBlue. A lot of times the Amazon app if it can't figure out the barcode, you can put the app to the front of the unit itself. And sometimes it can figure it out what it is just by doing this, if you have the front of whatever you're messing with. Now, it'll only do that if it's something like usually new. But let me see if I can get this thing barcode scanned. It's not picking it up. I don't know why. But it picked it up at the sale. I think it's like a $10 game, maybe $11 game, like used in perfect condition. So just so you know that. And then the very, very, very first thing that I picked up once I walked in, I was like, holy crap. And this is the crazy thing. At 7:04 in the morning, there were easily like maybe 2 resellers there. None of those resellers were in the green room resellers, so that was cool. But there were definitely some resellers. I know them because I see them around town. And it just goes to show you that the more that you know, okay, the more that you know, the more money you will make. Because these resellers were just going around looking for the things that I know that they look for, which is not, they're how do I say it? Like, they just don't have very big horizons, or maybe they just don't look at life like an abundance type mentality and just zero in on all they care about is what they know about. Like, this is a game, like if you want to make a lot of money in garage sale season, it rewards the people that know a lot of stuff. Now, you can say that I'm wrong, but there's absolutely no way that I'm wrong, because the more that you know, the more that you can assess risk quickly and go, okay, I can remember seeing that on someone's video, and then I subsequently researched it, or I saw that in whatever group that you're part of, or I saw it in the green room, people talk about it. And the person, I saw them like, they had gone through all this kind of stuff, and I know they'd walked the sale, like I know they had, and they missed very obvious things, like very, very obvious things. I couldn't believe it. So this is one of the things that they missed, aside from all the other stuff I picked up. Like, so this is such a no-brainer right here. It's a sealed game. So anytime it's a sealed game, especially it's made by Rio Grande Games, which I call nerd games, but like it's made by Rio Grande. Like this is, on par with games like Catan, Carcassonne. There's just so many of them, but like this, it's a totally different demographic of people that play these types of games. There's strategy games like Mensa type games. And they usually take 30 minutes to, an hour and a half to play a whole round. So yeah, the kind of person that plays this game is probably not playing Pie Face or Sorry or Chutes and Ladders. They're a little bit, I don't know, the people that play these kind of games, like their mind is thinking more strategic. Like, let's put it that way. So this is Dominion. This is a very notorious game. It's been out forever. It's got a price tag of $44.95 on the back from Dragon's Lair, which is a store in town that sells nerd games, right? So this is the crazy part. So like, I went to the garage sale. So like the very first thing that I picked up was Dominion. Like I was like, holy crap! Like a sealed Dominion? You gotta be kidding me! So this is sealed Dominion Intrigue, new. All right, 72,690 in toys, 4.5 stars. Okay, with 407 reviews. None on Amazon. Amazon is not in on it. There are 2 from FBA. One is at $89.40. The other one's at $95, basically. And once this thing sells with FBA fees, $71.33. All right, you can see it right there, $71.33. All right. Like, why is this person passing this thing up? So, that's just, it's bonkers. And it just goes to show you that there are a couple things that are happening here. One is the person that knows the most wins. 2 is the person that knows the most and has the most avenues open wins too. Okay, so those are 2 things you have to always remember. Like, if I can be remembered for a lot of things on YouTube outside of crazy antics and ride-alongs, it would be that I'm a huge proponent of teaching. Like, you got to know why something's valuable, or you got to know why quality sells. And then outside of that, you got to have your avenues open. Like, I don't have all my avenues open. I don't have Etsy and all this kind of stuff, but I have eBay, I have Amazon, FBA, I have my antique booth, a consignment store in town that I deal with sports goods, and then I have Craigslist, right? I mean, get your avenues open. It's not that hard, like, seriously. So anyway, I know. So like, someone's saying like, this one game right here, right? Remember how I spent $80 on that one tennis court sale? This game is going to yield about $71. Okay, 71. So you can imagine, with one pickup, like nearly my entire cost is paid for, like right there. And I'm going to send this thing off today. Like right after this show, this thing is going to get a sticker on the back, and it's going in a box, and it's heading to FBA. I thought it was just crazy. So that kind of just shows you that anything after that game is essentially kind of profit. Like the 4 stools, like the Rector set, the silver thing that's on the ground right here, the Scene It game, right? It's crazy. So here's something. So yeah, that's what I found over there. Found all that kind of stuff. And then what else did I find? Damn, there were other things. It like slips my mind right now, but we totally crushed that sale. E-Money walked with a bike, a couple other things. I went to a garage sale in my neighborhood after the tennis court sale, and I might find out other tennis court stuff that I'm like looking around my room for. But anyway, so I went to my garage. My actual neighborhood was having neighborhood-wide garage sales, which is great because I know my neighborhood. I know all the streets. I know all how they snake together and everything. So I was able to cover it pretty quickly. Found this for 25 cents. Everyone should know what this is. Speak and Spell. It's probably like an early 80s kind of Texas Instrument type stuff. In fact, let's see. I said early 80s. I don't even know what it says here, but I'm pretty sure it's early 80s. Oh, 1978. Okay, I'm close. I had one of these as a kid. I had the yellow one. So anyways, yeah, a good thing to like teach your kids. This is pre-Leapfrog, pre all that kind of stuff. This is a way to like get your kids acclimated to digital type products without like completely brain sucking them into like video games or cell phones. So this was some of the earliest things that I remember. Texas Instruments Speak and Spell. This should bring back a lot of memories. 25 cents, going to ask about maybe, I don't know, 20 to 30 in my booth. And I think, I don't know if it's the yellow one or this one that was in the ET movie, but someone helped me out. Maybe you can answer that question. All right, so let me find some other stuff here. Sorry, I have a cough and I don't want to put it on the video, but I don't know what the cough came from. But anyway, so that was from a garage sale. Other garage sales in my neighborhood. Let me show you what else I picked up from some garage sales in my neighborhood. This was $5, a no-name helmet, extra large, perfect condition. Probably, something like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. My friend might want it, but if not, then what we're going to do is just do a local kind of figure. We'll figure out a local kind of deal for this. My guess is 30 to 50 on that. It's a no brand though, no brand. $1. Going to my booth right here. Like, seriously, $1. Justin boots, single tone Justin boots, not all the way up the calf, right? Like most boots, but yeah, still Justin boots, 5B, women's size, great condition. Going to be asking probably, I think I'll walk with about 28 to 30 on these in the booth. Yeah, thought it was pretty good. Hey, what's up, College Picker? Good to see you. And by the way, that reminds me, so College Picker is definitely one of my business partners in this business that I'm about to show you. And this is not going to be some sort of like upsell or anything like that. But I do want to, to go towards what I was talking about, like the person that knows the most wins. And I can vouch that Eric is one of those people that absolutely embraces that type of mentality. I've seen him hustle so many different times, garage sales, estate sales, yard sales. We've done pawn shops together. We've done so many things together. And he's got a very wide knowledge and he does very well. So we created this at the Green Room. It's 100 amazing items to resell. It is the very first link down below. And it's a free guide that you can put on your phone right now. So go put it on your phone. Just trust me, you need to know this kind of stuff right now, especially in neighborhood-wide garage sale season. Like, you've got to be prepared, okay? Preparation is how you make money. So go check that out. It's the first link down below. All right. So let's talk about the next thing that I found. $1 in my neighborhood. This was pretty much a no-brainer because I could put this in my booth for like 20 to 30 bucks. Or they're size 12, which means I could wear them. So I don't know. I love beat-up boots like this. I mean, you can do go to bonfires with them. You don't have to worry about embers like hitting your shoes and putting little holes in them and stuff. Like, there are a lot of cool things you can do with a crappy pair of boots that are very high quality. Clark's Originals desert boots are really high quality kind of things, and they're very, very comfortable, and they have a gummy undersole. So, I think it's a good proposition for $1, and if I don't want to wear them, I can put them at my booth for 20 to 25 bucks pretty easily. 20 to 30 bucks pretty easily. So there it is. I would say moderately used, not well used, but a moderately used pair of shoes. This was $2. I thought this was great. It's made by an amazing brand called Double H, and the leather quality right here is very tough. It reminds me of Fry, which is another great brand of boot to be looking for. But here we have some Double H boots, women's, size 8, oil-resistant undersole. And these I'm going to be asking in my booth probably closer to 35 to 50 bucks. Pretty nice. I could ask a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see. Got to do a little bit more research. They have a little bit of not stains, but just marks on them and stuff. But that's it right there. Thought it was pretty cool. I had to buy them. I mean, God, $2. Like, seriously, I thought the girl was gonna I was gonna buy these for $5, but $2, that's great. That's the reason why you don't want to be like, hey, will you take $5 for this? Like, there's no price on it. So you got to ask every single time, like, what's how much are the boots? Don't ever be like, will you take $5? Don't ever say that kind of stuff. All right. Now, here's something that Eric, my partner, will be able to help me with. Maybe you guys out there in the feed will help me as well. Popped on this for $2. It's a JanSport, which I believe to be a retro vintage JanSport backpack, leather bottom. But I could be wrong, right? Maybe it's a current day and they reissued this thing, but I thought it was pretty sweet. What do you think I should ask for this on eBay? Think about it real quick. It's in great condition. I wouldn't say perfect, but it's pretty damn good. Like, it's in really good condition. Retro JanSport backpack. Like it. So We Sweat You Shop says Double H. No, Double H is the brand of the boot, I believe. What else we got here? Feed your knowledge in the green room. Yeah, Adria Molina, that's right. One of the things I'm going to probably be doing soon is I'm going to try, since I'm a content creator, I need to take a little bit more pictures of the stuff. So that way in the green room, I can provide a little bit better explanation, more in-depth explanation of like some of these hustles that I do. So that's definitely coming down the line. I want to do that kind of stuff. And definitely supercharge the green room members a little bit more. What do you guys think for this? 35.50, and he's sure about that vintage JanSport. So that's pretty good, you know. Vintage JanSport, 30 to 50 bucks. I think when I filmed the ride along, I said something like 30. So there we go. Thought it was a pretty solid backpack to pick up. Okay, so one of the craziest parts of the haul that I did last weekend was above that stool, there is a film box, okay? It's a film box. It's made out of like really hard cardboard. You can kind of see it right there, okay? It's on top of the stool. That film box right there, I came to a garage sale and there were 18 of those things stacked on top of each other. That stuff is perfect for decoration in people's homes, like all that kind of stuff. So of course, I'm naturally thinking like, holy crap, film boxes. But then our spaceship was completely filled up at that point, or next to filled up. It was 80% filled up already at like 7:24 in the morning. So I'm going like, damn, I really want those things. I can charge, you know, in fact, I just stickered up all the tags for those things. And each tag says $15 on it. With my store at, you know, 40% off sale, that's 15 minus 6, which is 9. And the antique mall is going to take 10%, which is another 90 cents off the top. I'll be walking with $8.10 on each one of those guys, times 18, right? I picked all 18 up for $15 at a garage sale. So that's what's going on through my head. I'm going to take 15 bucks. You know, whatever 18 times 8 is, which, what, 144, something like that? Am I right? I don't know. But anyway, so you can kind of see what's going on in my head. Pretty good proposition right there. You know, I might go higher on those. I don't know, but I've already filled out 18 tags too, so I don't know if I want to go back. But that's what's going on through my head with those film boxes. They're really neat. They have like little metal corners to them, so they're pretty resilient to damage. But they are hard cardboard. They're not made out of wood or anything like that. Something that I picked up last weekend at a garage sale, a rocket launcher box or something like that. I never put it on the video because I just took it directly from a garage sale to my booth. Like I didn't put on any videos, but it was like a rocket launcher box, or it had shells in there or something. It was a wood box with the rope, you know, 2 ropes on the side. Picked up for 10 bucks. I got paid for it yesterday for $51. Like that was pretty cool. So it just kind of shows you the caliber of stuff that does sell in my booth. It's so widespread. It's like cowboy boots, pearl snap shirts, trucker hats, film boxes. It's gonna be stools, you know, things like that. That's just what's going on through my head. Like I really try to push the boundaries of the booth as much as I can, but I get kind of bummed out when other booths beside me, and there is one that's kind of close to me, but they have like all kinds of. I saw Austin Powers, The Spy That Shagged Me, as like on DVD too, like in the booth. Like that's not vintage, that's not retro, and that's not antique. Like I don't like it when people push the boundaries too much, but I push my boundaries a little bit. But I'll never put something that's like super crazy. I'll put a reproduction sign, you know, like that's okay, because as long as the sign has something that's vintage looking on the front. But I don't understand how like Austin Powers, The Spy That Shagged Me on DVD is like how that ends up at the antique mall. So anyway, this stuff is perfect. Like this antique film boxes or retro vintage film boxes, and the film reels go in there. Like, right, it's not like VHS tapes. It's like reels of film go in those things. The stool is perfect, right, for that. There are a lot of things that I put in my booth, but I don't push the boundaries. I don't go as crazy as some of the people that I've seen. So hopefully you're enjoying the show. This is not the end of it yet, but I want to see how you guys are doing. We got 48 viewers in the house. There are a lot of ways that you can support your favorite YouTube content providers, whether they be picking oriented, you know, they test drive cars or something, or they're workout related. Don't forget to support your YouTube creators. You can do it really easily by, you know, hitting like buttons. You can put comments down below. That's really important. I've had subscribers tell me like, man, I love your channel so much that like I will put your video, some of your playlists on play and let them play all the way through the night so that you get paid on some of the ad stuff. I'm like, wow, that's pretty interesting. But there's so many ways that you can, you know, really connect with your favorite YouTubers. It doesn't matter who they are. There's Super Chat, which is one of those ways that you can like there's right there. It's this thing called Super Chat. Go check it out. You know, check out the 100 amazing items to resell. This is really important, right? If you're like, damn, like he finds some cool stuff and I'd like to find some other cool stuff. I wonder what other things I'm missing out on. Just check it out. It's down below, free guide right there. And I'll also put you on the green room email list, which we have some sales in the green room every now and then on that list. So there's all kinds of perks and stuff. And there's a really cool behind the scenes content in those emails as well. I'm trying to think of other ways you can support. Oh yeah, you can check this out. Look at this. Cheddar Weather shirt, the official Bonafide Hustler merchandise. You can't copy this. Look, Bonafide Hustler merchandise. That's down below. You can go check out the shirts. Those are awesome. They come in many different colors. This is the black one, extra large. I think it's a little too big for me, but I do like it. But yeah, go check it out. Always support your favorite YouTubers. Go to their conferences. Do things that you like to do with them. But it's all part of learning. Like, you learn when you network. You learn when you watch videos and you stay attentive and you do further research. Like, there's a lot of ways to learn. But if you're finding yourself pigeonholed out there trying to make money, you're like, I'm not pulling the triggers right, or I'm not finding the things like they're finding. You got to stay patient and you got to know a lot. All right. So, and you got to make the effort. You got to, spend hours out there and try to find some stuff. So think about it. Yeah, and buy through their Amazon links as well, is what College Picker's saying. That's true. I did some of my first 2 Amazon links, not on this channel, but on my other workout channel, for some wrist wraps and a weightlifting dip belt. I actually just put a couple links in there. But yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can support your favorite people, but don't forget to support them somehow. And if you don't have anything to give or anything like that, a simple like or a comment is really all that's needed. So think about it. Okay, let's talk about the other things that I found. I was at a bike swap meet at the tail end of the day. It was the last thing that I did before I came home. Before I came home and sold the Nerf Vulcan for $50 that I bought for like $1. All right, no, it's not $1, like $2. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So I sold a Nerf Vulcan locally, right? So I thought that was pretty cool. I was at a bike swap meet, and of all things, I go to bike swap meets now, especially the ones in Austin. They're called Frankenbike, okay? Now, Frankenbike, I know, does Dallas Frankenbikes. They do Houston Frankenbikes. You don't have to know anything about bikes. It would be nice to know things about bikes. If you want to know about bikes and make money on bikes, I have a guide. It's down below. Go check it out. I swear to God, like, I've been making money off bikes since like 12 years ago, okay? And I still, to this day, continue making money off bikes. That guide's $40. And if you're like, that's a little too steep, well, guess what? Like, many times a bike flip will pay you like 50, 100, 150, 200. Like, that's a typical kind of bike flip. So if you're like, I can't risk $40 to make what I believe now, at this point, 12 years ago, doing all this till now, like, I've probably made somewhere between 100 grand to about $250,000, something like that, like, just on bikes. I've made a lot of money on bikes. I'm telling you right now, like, so just think about it. I could be exaggerating, but I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot of money. So at a bike swap meet, I go there now because I find other things that the people are just trying to sell. It's kind of like the antique booth. You bend the rules, and the people that show up at the bike swap meets under their little tents kind of bend the rules too. So you'll find bike-related things like bike bells and bottle cages and intact bike frames and shocks and seats and all that kind of stuff. There's plenty of money to be made on parts, okay? And there's plenty of money to be made on intact bicycles as well. What you have to understand at a bike swap meet, that you're buying from a person that's more than likely researched. At least if it's a complete bike or a frame, they've probably researched that all the way through. But bins of parts and stems and seat posts and every other nook and cranny of a bike, that takes a little bit more knowledge, okay? So I've found some very specialized types parts there, things like that at bike swap meets. Another thing that I like about bike swap meets is the incidence of other items, which is what my original point was. People bring other items that are unrelated to bikes there, unrelated to bikes, will just be there. The third thing I like about bike swap meets is, if you're lucky, how do I say it? A product rep from a good component component company will be there selling all their samples or demo gear or things like that. Case in point, there was a Crank Brothers rep. Crank Brothers makes wheels, seat posts, stems, pedals, more importantly. They're very well known for pedals. Crank Brothers makes pedals and all these kind of things, right? But the rep was there, right? And the rep was unloading like his 2016 inventory. And it was just bags full of like brand new stuff and like pedals and seat posts. And one of their seat posts was there. And I remember buying it for like, I think like $100, and I sold it for like $250, like literally like the next day. So it kind of shows you like, that's how the Austin one is. I can't imagine that Portland wouldn't have one, or Seattle or LA. San Diego. You got to get in the know. You got to figure out how to get to those things. But think about finding bike swap meets. Okay, a swap meet, not a BMX meet or a you know, where they meet at cafes and they talk bikes. No, you need to go like a swap meet, a place where they buy, sell, trade kind of thing. At this bike swap meet, I found this Lowy Pro backpack at a place, at a guy that was like, he always has jerseys, he always has bike shoes. That's all he ever has. But then there was a bin. And in the bin, and I'm kicking myself in the butt right now because in the bin were two Lowy Pro bags. One was pretty big and I didn't pick it up because it appeared to be a little used, and I was just like, I don't know, like, I was more honed in on this one for personal use. And then when I looked it up later, I was like, good Lord. And then I opened the zippers and everything like that, and I'm finding silica gel. And I should have known, right? I should have known with a couple things that this was brand new, like brand new. First of all, there's silica gel inside, those little silica gel packets. Okay, if you're using this thing, you don't leave silica gel packets in these things. But second of all, the way that this right here is done, you see this thing right here? The way that that's done is done by factory. Like, that's how it comes factory. Because most people would never take the time to make it that perfect, right, after they own it. So I should have known. And upon further perusal, when I got home, I was like, damn it, like, oh, I saw the silica gel. I was like, crap, like, this thing's new, you know? So I spent 12 bucks on this thing. It's selling on eBay used, in used condition, right, for 100 bucks. So I could put it mint and probably get a little bit more, or I could keep it. And yeah, so this is pretty interesting. I thought it would be perfect for like a little bit more protection when I actually go to my boat and everything like that. And I take pictures of things that we do. And I'm about to buy a Mavic drone. So I was like, a bag that could fit a drone and my camera would be perfect. And that's what's going on through my head. And I was like, yeah, and in worst case scenario, I could sell for 40 bucks. I didn't know that this one right here is a little bit more current, super current, you know, 100 bucks right there. So it was just a pain in the butt. I should have picked up the other one, basically, because I can infer that if there was that one there and there was another one next to it that I didn't pick up, that other one was probably mint and new as well. Don't know where the guy got it. Who cares? He cut me a good deal. I should have got the other one. Anyway, but yeah, go to swap meets. You know, think outside the box. Even if you don't know about bikes, if you're in the green room, my bike guide is sitting there for free. It's on the site. Go check it out, review it, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. There's a lot of money to be made on bikes. There's a ton. I just happened to find something else that wasn't bike related at that swap meet. So, yeah. So we got a lot of people in the house. Andrew Elvis in the house. We sweat you shop. Johnny Chingus. It's a Lowy Pro bag. Yep. College Picker says sometimes you can make $600 on a bike. Yeah, that's true. I had a pretty good bike flip last year. Actually, it might have been this year, actually. Anyway, so I had a $250 Craigslist find that I kept for 2 years, and I rode it around. It was awesome. It's been in some of my videos. It's called a Felt Chief. It's kind of a rare bike, but I sold it locally for $900. I think it was earlier this year, actually. But that just goes to show you, like, you need to know about bikes. It's very important. A more typical type of bike flip is a 50, 100, 150. Like, that's a little bit more typical, like everyday kind of thing. Everyday, but like most sales are in those vicinities. And then you get these outlier ones, right? That just, you're like, holy crap. So that's honestly how my hustling started, was with bikes. It was something that, you know, they always say that you start your hustle with the things that you know, or at least the things in your house that you care about. I started with my hustle with bikes because I cared about bikes. I loved riding. I naturally knew a little bit more than the average person about bikes. And I was successful, like, right away selling bikes. Like, I write about it in my first book right away. In fact, my first book is somewhere on the shelf up here. It's actually behind there. I have a bunch of copies of it. Not a bunch, but like 6. Okay, so let's talk about what else did I find? I was in my neighborhood wide garage sales, you know, and I went to this garage sale that was down the street that I ride on all the time. Now, we found a lot of this stuff. Like, and my brother took some of it. He took half of it. So when you're looking at house fixtures and when people redo kitchens and bathrooms and stuff, like, all of the stuff is pieced together, right? And the DIY kind of person is going to go to Home Depot or whatever, or, you know, and buy a bunch of these things. Or the person, if you go to a garage sale and you see a bunch of these things and towel rings and all that kind of stuff, you might have to go, okay, this person might be a builder or something like that, or, you know, has the contract to be, he's a contractor or of the apartment complex that's being built down the road. Like sometimes people have a crazy abundance amount of these things. And this is not uncommon to go to garage sales and see people that have these kind of things. You know, at least once every 3 months, we come across this type of stuff. So we got towel rods. We've popped on 8 of these guys. Each one of these towel rods right here is yielding, I'll show you right here. But yeah, each towel rod's going to pay, we have 8 of them. Each one of these is $18.10. It's $280, $461 in home improvement, 4 out of 5 stars, 55 ratings. $280, $461 is definitely within the top 5% of home improvement. So $18.10 for each one. You do the math, we found 8 of them. We found 3 of these, right? I'll scan it right here. At this garage sale, we spent $40 on all of this, what I'm about to show you. Like, okay, 40 bucks. So just imagine 18 times those towel rod things. We found this towel ring right here in Venetian bronze. This one's $12.99, $254, $309 in home improvement, still in the top 5%. $12.99. All right, that's what it's yielding. So that's not bad. We got 3 of those between me and my brother. We got 4 of these. Maybe more of that. Maybe 6 of these actually. This one is $37,334 in home improvement. This is $15.57, 4 out of 5 stars, 25 ratings. 4 of those. Got a bunch of these, like a ton. I wouldn't say a ton, but like 8 or 10 of these. Chrome bathroom towel ring, $18,603 in home improvement, 396 ratings, 4 stars out of 5, yielding $5 on Amazon. Sending all those in. So you can kind of see what we were thinking. That stuff's all getting mailed out today. That came from a garage sale that was in my neighborhood. Thought it was pretty cool. Do you guys do that type of hustling or not? Do you look for stuff like that? Anytime there's a barcode, you should be thinking, man, I should be scanning that. And if you're thinking like, I'm probably restricted, like even before you scan it, that's a big mistake. Like you gotta go. I mean, I know restrictions are out there and you know they're widespread, but they're also widespread. Like they're not everywhere, right? So you would be surprised what you might be ungated for. But if you're just sitting there and going like, I just want to find video games, or I just want to find, you know, sealed electronics, like there's a lot of things around you guys, books, these things that you might not be scanning that are well worth your time. It's just a sticker away from like making money. Like, would I not make $18.10 like by putting 1 sticker on a thing and putting it in a box? Like, think about it for a second. That takes like no time at all. So yeah, definitely sending that in like right after this show. Something else that I found in the garage sale, this was pretty cool. We spent $40 on this thing. I got half of the thing, eMoney got the other half of the thing. So I've made a couple shows about, you know, there's of simulation type things, okay? Simulation being like car simulation driving tools or plane simulation driving tools, aviation type stuff. And when people want to practice before they get into the real situation, simulators are the way to go. And simulators, you might be thinking like, is he talking Forza or Ace Combat 6, you know, like, or any of those kind of things? I'm talking higher than that, okay? Like real deal simulation type stuff that involve pedals and yoke and rudders and sticks and stuff like that. Like, I'm talking real deal stuff, not just you have an Xbox 360 controller in your hand or an Xbox One controller and you're flying a plane around. I'm talking much more advanced than that, okay? So we came to a garage sale, we spent 40 bucks and we found a rudder yoke kind of deal, or I guess I have the rudder part, but a yoke stick and the foot pedals that go with it. I've made shows about this, right? And I made shows because I wanted to tell you guys what to look out for, because I'm always on the lookout for this kind of stuff. I've hustled it before, and here again, we found another one. So this is what I found. This is just the rudder set I want to say for an aviation simulation program in perfect condition, right? USB out. You might be thinking, all right, you got my attention, bona fide. What is that thing worth? Okay, so all you got to do in a situation like this is you look at it, you assess it, and you go, okay, does it do its little pedal thing? Because a real rudder stick's supposed to come back to, it's called RLC, return, or RTC, return to center, return to center. So once someone does that, does it return to center? Yes. And if they go this way, does it return to center? It does. All right, cool. So it's probably a working rudder thing. USB out. It says Pro Pedals on the front. So you know it's a simulation type of tool. So you go Pro Pedals, Simulator. Put that into Amazon. It's really, really easy, okay? You come up with CH Pro Pedals, USB Flight Simulator Pedals, 388 rating, 4 out of 5 stars on Amazon. Now here's the kicker, right? It's sitting right there, okay? So I'm gonna click it. The question is, can I sell it used, right? So selling eligibility. You can sell this Amazon, new, used, refurbished, but not collectible. Great. So I'm cleared. That's amazing. Do I have your attention? Used, make sure you hit that. And you can kind of see what's going on through my head. But look at the rank, okay? Promise me you'll look at the rank. You see what I'm talking about? All right. So this is 2 rank in PC. 2 rank in PC. I spent 20 on this one. This will sell day 1, unless I get really competitive on price and I decide to hold out and I'd sell it week 3, right? And maybe get a command a premium. There are 9 FBA offers. In Prime, it's going for 102.80, 102.80, 102.80, 102.80. Of course, there's going to be some people that are going to go a little bit higher than that. But I'm really thinking at 102.80 with the average FBA fee of $15, it yields an $87.82 check. So do the math. You know, $20 converted into $87.82. Number 2 rank in PC. Strong reviews. This thing right here. All right, and I didn't even get the top part. Like the top part was sitting there too. I gave that to E-Money, my brother, and that one's yielding about 100 after fees and everything like that. So there you go, right? You got to start looking for stuff like this. All right, so that's that. I'm trying to think what else I found. There are all kinds of things that I did find, and E-Money has a lot of stuff too. My brother. I think that does it for my side of the haul. I know there's other stuff, but there's always something I miss, always. I do have a sleeper kind of thing that I found at a Walmart. I can't show you guys, but it's right here, right? It's a sleeper thing I found at a Walmart for $9, okay? I found it for $9. I did put it in the green room. I found it, I think, on Friday. I just listed this thing. I put it on my Amazon store for, I think, $69.99, because I think the person at $50 is going to sell right out, and then the next step up is like 100. So mine would be like around 74 or maybe $69. So, but yeah, it's sitting right here. Bam! This thing right here, $9. Ranking video games like sub 5K, sitting in the green room. Found it, and that's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much the haul. I can't wait to actually start processing this stuff so I can get the hell out of here and make some money. But yeah, that's what's going on through my head through most of this kind of stuff. I would love teaching you guys. If you have any couple questions, I'll stick around to get that done. But I have a substantial FBA shipment going out that I have to do real quick. I have things I sold over the weekend that need to be sent out to USPS for eBay. And then my SUV has a lot of stuff in it that's meant for the antique booth. So I got quite the journey ahead of me today to make sure that all this stuff gets to where it needs to go. But yeah, that's pretty much the haul. I hope you did enjoy it. Let's stick around for some questions, and I will definitely help you guys out. I want to read some comments here. I love comments, whether they're live or in real time after the fact. I love it. So I guess live and real time shouldn't be used together, but you know, if they're live or they're after the fact. Kevin Chandler says, being diversified in your sourcing is the key to growing your success for sure. Love it. Let's see here. Thriller Gorilla Picker. This is a good one. I scan all the plumbing fixtures that are new in package. You would be amazed how much that stuff is. Yes, I've done those before. Another thing about the antique booth environment, there's usually a person who does all the heavy lifting or helping customers bring your product to the customer, but they're not always. Yeah, my antique booth or my antique mall has a crew that works the front, and the crew, if there's something heavy in a booth that they want to take to the front, they take care of it. It's an unmanned booth. Like I'm sitting here at home, or when I get paid, like, you know, I'm not there. So, you know, in order to get that type of lifestyle, there has to be some sort of commission, or you have to pay for that type of lifestyle. So I pay in terms of rent, and I pay in terms of commission to the mall to house my products there, unmanned though. So all I do is put a tag on it, and that's it. I drop it off. So another question or remark here. Let's see here. Working around the house, brother. Cool. Here we go. College Picker says, oh man, at a bike swap meet, you picked up a cargo bike kit at that one bike swap meet we went to, and you sold it in like a day or two. It's crazy. Yes, I sold that thing for, I think it was $535 or so. I think I picked it up for like $120, but it was an extra cycle bike kit. So that was pretty cool. It was a bike attachment thing. Very, very hard to find. Not in production anymore either. The only reason I know about that is because I own an extra cycle that I bought off Craigslist for $230. The whole bike, like everything, with the kit on it. So, and that was when it was still in production, and it was commanding very high resale value at that point. But now that it's not in production anymore, people are going bonkers trying to find that stuff. Johnny Chingas says it's always cheddar weather in the green room. Johnny Chingas, I really do appreciate that. Guys, if you're interested in joining my room behind the scenes, go check out the second link down below. It is the link to the green room. You can go check it out. You can go see our awesome edited video done by Venture Addicts for the green room seminar that happened, or the green room seminar, the meetup, and everything else that went with it this past July. That's on the second link down below. It's really cool. It's a really well done video. You should go check it out. And then we have a bunch of really good stuff in the green room. I can't, this is not going to become a green room sell show, but definitely go check it out. Second link down below. First link down below is going to be this thing, which is green room related. It is our 100 amazing items to resell. What I was doing like here is just showing you the cheddar weather shirt. That's down below as well. Thriller Gorilla Picker says, hey, Chris, I contacted the BMX museum on the Norco. Cool. I'm trying to help him behind the scenes, like decipher this BMX bike, this Norco he got behind the scenes. Kevin Chandler saying, great show. I will always learn something new. Thank you. You have a great day. You too. Derpy McFly says, is that the Pro Pedal set? Yes, that's the Pro Pedal like steering thing for the plane. He's like, oh my God, I almost threw those things away. I have the steering thingy as well called the yoke stick. So yeah, if you have those things together, I think there's a bundle for those things together, but if you separate them out, you get 100 on the yoke stick and you get $87 on this one down there. I think the yoke stick is number 1 or number 3 in PC. The rudder pedals are number 2 in PC. So Derpy McFly says, is the booth a store? Yes. The booth's not a store. It's an antique mall. So imagine you go into a place that has one single entrance point, and then you either go left or right or straight. Like, and both sections are just rows and rows of antique booths, and each booth is numbered, like booth 1, 2, 3. What I'm in booth 199, and everything's tagged up. So when they come to the front with an item that they find from anywhere in the mall, they come to the front desk and they go, okay, I want to pay for this. And they go, okay, it came from booth whatever. So we will give whatever that check, you know, that amount on their check, which comes out every 2 weeks. But I can check out every single evening what is selling, like in real time, like what is sold today, what is sold a couple days ago. Like I can see it as my check gets built every 2 weeks. I can see what is selling. So that's really important. Yeah. Quasi Life, I'll be gifting myself a membership to the green room for my birthday. Yeah, if you work for yourself, you know, absolutely getting a membership to the green room is, you can write that off. I mean, it's education, you know, it's a no-brainer. So yeah, definitely think about joining. And look, if you're out and about and you want to get that deal, I think there's 2 different types of mentalities out there. There's the kind of person that's like very patient, waiting for a deal, and that's great. I understand that person. Sometimes I'm that person. And if you are that type of person, just get on the email list, wait for the sale to come around, which I can't tell you at what part of the email sequence that the sale is. So I can't even begin to speculate. But I would imagine that it's, I don't know, it could be a month away or whatever once you join the email sequence. Or, and the most important thing is, you're the person that's like, all right, like I want to start learning right now, and I just want to do it. And you know, if I wait, I might save $50, but if I go now in the midst of the neighborhood-wide garage sale season or whatever, and you know, you could stand to make hundreds more, thousands more just because you joined earlier. So there are 2 types of thought processes. Oh, there's a third type of there's a third type of thought process out there. It's the worst of all. It's the one where people go, well, you can just find that stuff out there for free. So why pay for any amount of information? That person's interesting. But anyway, figure out which one you are out of the three. I'm not telling you guys to become any one of the three, but everyone is one of the three, every single person out there. So it just depends on who you are, how you see opportunity, and how you capitalize on it. Yeah, and there are plenty of other groups to like join too. I'm not gonna say like mine's the best or anything like that. Mine's good, right? But there are other ones out there. Mine's a family. Like I know that, and I'll swear by that. Like mine's a family. People get to know each other. We have meetups, and it's freaking awesome. Like mine's a family. But there are other groups out there that you could, if you're just leveraging it with just a people number. Like I want to leverage like 1,000 people, or that group has 50,000 people. It must be better. Like there are a lot of groups out there, right? And I don't know if a number is better than anything else. I would say the quality of the group is amazing. How you get the information is everything when it comes to value, right? If you have to sift through hundreds of posts to get a gem, I don't know what to tell you. I know our room is heavily moderated, and we have good posts and a lot of great people. I've met a lot of them. I've met probably over half of the people that are in my green room. Amazing hustlers that have little to no YouTube presence, like you would never know, right? But when you meet them in real life, they're stand-up, amazing individuals that are very good at what they do. I'm like extremely proud of them. So anyway, yeah. All right, so I guess that's pretty much it. Anyway, any more questions? Here we go. Lynette Karras, I love this. Okay, so like this is a great question. What do you do with your eBay and booth if you go on vacation? It's a perfect question. So my eBay, and this is the reason why I do this. I'm probably the only person in the reseller community that does this, okay? When I go on vacation, it's usually about a week or more. But if I'm lucky in a year, I'll get a 2-weeker or maybe a 3-weeker. But being away for that long, I like it, but I also I'm a man that wants to achieve some good things in life, so like I want to do some big things, and that requires a lot of time, quiet time, coffee shop, library, whatever, and like getting things done. But this person says, what do you do with your eBay and booth when you go on vacation? The booth, self-sustaining, it's like FBA. Like, what do you do with your FBA business when you go on vacation? You just let it do its thing, right? With my booth, I let it do its thing. I will show up a couple of days before I leave vacation to the antique mall, and I'll make sure my booth is relatively tidy and make sure it's good. I'll make sure to fill up any holes that I see. And then I tell the front desk, like, hey, I'm going to be gone for a week or two, like, just giving you guys the heads up. And they go, okay, cool. See you later, Chris. Da, da, da. So that's what goes on with the antique mall. Now, eBay, I'm probably the only person that, I know I'm like one of the only people that does this. I believe we live in a time of now, like today, like this is like everything we've been classically conditioned to view business and transactions as like a now kind of thing, right? Like digital downloads now, like I want things now. Amazon Prime, like 2 days, cool, that's great. Like I want it quick, as fast as possible. Amazon's biggest thing is to try to see if they can get same day things to your house, right? Or next day. Or produce, like, oh my God, I'm out of zucchini. Like, Amazon Prime some zucchini, like right now to my house. We live in a time of now, and so if I'm on vacation and someone like wants something from my eBay store, I think that the buyer pool is so small that wants to wait 10 days or something like that. And I'm sure that they're out there. I get it. Like people make sales and stuff like that. But when I want to do the way I like to do my business, I like to run it. I don't want people. Here's another thing. People really don't like to read a whole lot anymore. They like video and pictures, and that's it. So like, someone might not ever see that your store's on vacation mode or whatever, or just like purchase the product and they'd be like, "What the hell? Like it took too long," or what? I just don't want to run into that kind of stuff. I don't want to run into item was not described in a timely manner because they felt like it just was too long to wait, or it took, I don't know. Like I don't want to mess with that. Like I want to mess with the people that want it now. And so I shut my eBay store down for vacation, right? And a couple of days before I leave to come back home, I'll put it right back up again. That's how I do it because I want my people to get their stuff fast. Majority of my feedback will always be like, because I put economy shipping on all my stuff, but I use priority or 3-day FedEx for just about everything that I ship off. And almost every time in the feed, it's always showing like, oh man, like this thing was shipped out super fast. Like you see super fast, like they're surprised. And because that makes them happy. So I think people, in order to remain happy, like they always want things now. Like they now. No one wants to wait for slow, laggy internet. They want faster internet. They want now. We live in a time of now. So anytime that you can get your business closer to a time of now, like I think you win. And so that's just how I view it. I might be weird or whatever. And yeah, Bonafide, you should just leave all your stuff up and put it on vacation mode and increase your handling time to like 10 days or what. What good does that really do though in the long run? Like, I don't know. I've done it before and I just didn't see much good come out of it. Like you get a couple sales here and there, who cares? Like I could do without that. So maybe I'm weird about that, but that's just how I view it. Thriller Gorilla Picker says, "Hey Chris, really awesome shot on the wake surfing at the lake." Yeah, if you go check out my other Instagram, you can go check that out. There's a picture on there. It's at BodDam. I have an Instagram for my workout things. Okay, so PG Jersey says, I liked your recent video on hiking boots and saw some San Marco Grappa trekking boots at the thrift store earlier today. Did you see it? I didn't see any comps. Okay, if you don't see any comps, don't buy it, period. I mean, you don't want to be buying a brand that has no comps or anything remotely close to what you're seeing. That just means you're going to be holding on to that thing. It's going to be a long tail item. It doesn't make a bit of sense unless the boot is 25 cents and all your comps or your relative comps are kind of showing around 50 or something. Okay, maybe you want to house that in your house for half a year, but it's just a quarter sitting on a shelf. I don't like tying up any kind of money, any kind of substantial money on anything long tail if there's no comps. Like the research is the research. It's like camel or Keepa when you deal with Amazon, or it's like just kind of hustling without the Amazon app. Like, why would you do that? You got to have really, really good evidence before you buy what you buy. And the best of the hustlers won't even need evidence. They'll just be like, I've hustled that before. So that's the reason why you should know a whole lot of things, is so you can get a lot of experience under your belt, so you can become a faster hustler altogether. Like that's the main reason why you should know a whole lot, and why you should really study risk at its like infancy. Like, what does risk really mean? How should you view risk? Because just because you're out there, you should never feel like you have to buy something, right? You're at thrift store mode and you're like, oh, I gotta buy something, like, I gotta make money, I gotta make this payment or that payment or whatever. You know how people think. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me because I don't get myself in those situations, but people inevitably will be emotional based thrifting is like the worst, or emotional based hustling, worst thing you can do. You got to go in with facts, and what up here. And if you don't know anything up here, that's when you got to study, And you'll be surprised how much more money and how much more efficient and less stressful it becomes when you go in much more prepared or much more experienced. And I think that's where it becomes a lot of fun. And that's where when you see my ride-alongs, you realize, like, damn, like the dude's got a lot of energy. It seems like a good person to be around. It's because I really enjoy it for what it is now. But don't fool yourself. Like, I started doing it hard way. Like when I started reselling, there wasn't many YouTubers. Like there wasn't any Amazon FBA. Like I was stuck with like Craigslist and eBay. Actually, when I first started out, I was hustling bikes on classified sections on the Austin Chronicle, which is a paper publication. Like, think about it for a second. Like, I had very limited tools, and like, for me, there were all kinds of setbacks and there was all kinds of inefficiencies. But now we work in a world where the tools are everywhere around you, right? And the inefficiency is you now. Like, if you sit there and don't get trained all the time, or you don't watch videos on things that matter, and you're sifting through garbage, or you're just sifting through really bad content or negative people, the inefficiency becomes yourself. It's not the stuff out there. So just think about it like that. You have to think very smart about this if you want to make good money out of it. And the more emotionally based you become, the worse it'll be for you. You'll become a hoarder. You'll have things. You'll be donating a lot to savers. You'll be like, yeah, I'm donating things. Like, you want to be able to donate the least amount of things and make the most amount of money on the things that you keep or you put it away, right? That's the reason why I'm doing the show on a Monday, by the way, is because I don't want to have this stuff Wednesday in my house, like, period, right? I hustled it 2 days ago. I hustled it, had a great time, had tacos, went to the lake, and then Sunday, my wife was feeling kind of crappy, so, we did a walk downtown, had fun with the dogs, but the second it came down to go time and it was like a work week, I'm doing this show and this stuff is gone. Like I give it 2 hours and this stuff is everywhere it needs to be. So think about that for a second. That's what's going on through my head, right? I could keep it around and stuff like that, but why? It doesn't make any sense, right? It's money, and money needs to be turned quick. Here we go. I found a German Oktoberfest hat with pins on it. Worth much? I don't know because I haven't looked it up on eBay, but I would imagine that it could be worth something. Yes. What do you recommend to purchase bubble wrap and paper? I know they're everywhere, but wondering if you have a good spot online or brick and mortar. So if you want to purchase bubble wrap and paper, look at your favorite YouTubers. Like I know I don't have Amazon links down below. I probably should. But my bubble wrap is actually purchased from Costco. I want to say it's $12.36 for a big ass roll of it by 3M. It's really good. That's where I get my bubble wrap each and every time. Paper, I get reams and reams of that stuff from Costco. I have like 8 reams down below in this bookcase. So I don't need paper anymore. But poly bags and things like that, we have a link in the green room to poly bags and supplies for, all the kinds of things that you need for the basic FBA kind of stuff, scales, all that kind of stuff. There are affiliate links on the green room website, so go check that out. Thrift Shop Hustler says, hey, Bonafide Hustler, hope you have a great week, man. Derpy McFly says, motivational Monday. Yeah, there you go. Henry S., negative people at the Goodwill yesterday. Yes, I need to cut back the junk in those guys. Yeah, cut back the junk in those guys. One of the best things that you can do if you're a hustler is to start figuring out like a base level. Like I'm not hustling anything. And I think Amazon is the real, how do I say it? It's the exception to this rule that I'm about to tell you. But when you're dealing with eBay or you're dealing with like a local flip or something like that, figure absolute base minimum that you need to make on every single item and stick to that. When you go to a thrift store, don't be hustling things like, oh yeah, but I can make $5 on this shirt. If that doesn't go with your parameters, right? Because if someone's making $5 on a shirt or $3 on a shirt, like you better be doing a lot of volume, like because you got to turn over a lot of shirts to make that worth it, right? But for me, like let's say 2 years ago, I was like, no, my minimum was 20 on the thing. Now my minimum becomes like 25 or something like that. It really depends on how quick I can move the item to where it needs to be in front of people or market. So I can get into $1 pair of boots. Like right now, my number is somewhere around 25, 30 for a minimum I need to make on a flip. But that just goes to show you like 25 to 30 on a flip. Okay, this was like 25 cents. I'll list it in my booth for 20 to 30 bucks and I'll be done with it. It'll be listed and out of the way. Double H boots, they're $2, size 8 women's. They'll be they'll probably be on eBay between 40 and 60 bucks, I would think. So that totally goes with my parameters. $1, Clark's Originals Desert Boots. Those are going to be in my booth for minimum 20 bucks. It's one tag away, so that's good. But for anything that takes substantial amount of time of my prep, like I'm thinking 25 to 30 bucks. And so that's the reason why. And that's the reason why also Amazon bends that a little bit, because Amazon's quick. Like it's just a sticker, you drop it into a box. And so for there, the lower the rank becomes. And the funny thing is I actually have a product down here. I have 18 of them that I bought on Friday. I have 18 of this one thing that I bought for $6.48. And I'll probably, the check will net around $10.60 or so, something like that. And you're like, damn, that's like not very much. Like it's like $4, But it's also the day it checks in, it's gone. Like, so yeah, 18, making $4 on each. Maybe I'm like $3 on each. But all I do is I put 18 stickers on the back of a barcode thing. I drop them into a box, and that's literally all I do. Like that's it. So that's where I bend my rules a little bit. When the rank comes super low on Amazon or it's in the top 5%, my thought process switches to, okay, I could bend the $25 to $30 rule because the rank is high. If there's 100 on the rack, I can clear the whole shelf. So that's what, you have to know what your base minimum is. I think it's really important, but I think people get in a lot of trouble when they just find deals. They're like, oh my God, I found a Territory head shirt and it's so plain Jane and it sucks. And you might sell for 15 or something and you're into it for like 6. Like, I just don't, and it's long tail, like it just doesn't make any sense to me, right? So you got to be thinking as short as possible flips and making as much ROI as possible. That's really the name of the game. Andrew Alvis says, I got to list the Super Nintendo now with 3 games I got low for $25. So there you go. You're in the money right there. Yeah. Adam A517, I completely agree with this. I'm not even reading the whole thing, but I really agree with the first statement. Used regular clothing is very difficult. You typically only make 7 to 10 per item. You have to do a lot of volume. I 100% agree with you, Chris. I want to get into more higher goods. Yep. So there you go. Andrew Alvis, how much is the cost to join the green room? I forgot. Go check out the second link down below. We have a monthly option and we have a yearly option too. Clearly, the yearly is where you want to be. That's where you make the most friends and acquaintances. And the real value is not going the monthly route. I'm going to tell you right now. And the monthly route is way more costly. But it's up to you. You know. Michael Hill, territory ahead is a tough one. If the pattern isn't insane, you should leave it on the rack for sure. That was just one of the brands that I picked up. Like, here's another one, Polo. Like, everyone like goes crazy over Polo stuff. Look, like, not all the there's a lot of Polo stuff that doesn't sell very well at all. God, there's so many clothing brands that I feel like there's a lot of stipulations. Like, you got to really know like what sells within each brand. Johnny Chingus, Chris, what's your favorite bike brand? I'm a really huge like supporter of Specialized. Like I really, really like Specialized. I'm on my fourth Specialized product right now. Actually, I own 2 Specialized bikes. My first one was a stump jumper. My second one was another stump jumper. My third one was a stump jumper. My fourth one was an enduro. My fifth one was an enduro. I've had 6 Specialized bikes, and I'm on my last 2 right now, so that's cool. I think it's a really good brand. People are like, yeah, but it's like you're paying for like all the marketing and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, but I have ragged out these bikes like you would not believe. And Specialized bikes have never cracked on me. They've never given me any issues. Like I've cracked a GT frame on my cargo bike. I've cracked that one. I've hustled a bike from a pawn shop that was a Klein that was cracked. I hustled a Manitou FS 1992 model from a pawn shop way back in the day. That one had a cracked head tube. I arguably cracked a Trek Slash, which I still own, but I did get a warranty replacement on the rear triangle, but I think I might have cracked that one. So I ride my bikes kind of hard, you know, like I'm not afraid to ride them hard, but I think Specialized, like pound for pound, is just the best mountain bike company that you can buy. I don't know about road bikes, but I know for mountain bikes, like to me, that's the best place to start your mountain bike process. Off topic. Well, what supplements besides tacos do you? That's such a funny question. Oh my God, Jerry says it's off topic, but what supplements besides tacos do I use daily? It's a really good topic for maybe a goddamn video, but daily, like today so far, I've taken a multivitamin, I've taken a B12 supplements, I've taken 5 grams of creatine, I've taken 5 grams of BCAAs, 5 grams of creatine, I've taken 1 scoop of whey protein, I've had yogurt, I've had a banana, and then later in the day I'll have some wheatgrass stuff. I'll probably have a kombucha of some sort. Trying to think what else. I didn't get on any ZMAs, zinc, magnesium, whatever. I need to order some of that again. I sometimes take arginine when I'm on a bulking stage, but that's pretty much it. Like, I wouldn't say that's it. There's always something I'm missing, but nothing artificial, nothing black market, and nothing illegal. Like, I don't believe in that kind of stuff. I go hard work all the way through. And I realized that in the grand scheme of things, especially on the Instagram front, like my physique, you know, for 38 years old is I'd say it's probably in the top 5 or 10% of what most 38-year-olds look like. But compared to other people in Instagram world, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, that take black market illegal stuff, that's tough. You know, like the physiques are definitely more chiseled out and bigger and crazier looking and better. Probably, I would say arguably better looking, but the trade-off is substantially higher. And I decided not to go with that trade-off. I don't want to have hormone imbalances and things going wrong with my hair falling out and like back acne and roid raging and all. Like, forget that. Like, I don't want that. I don't care about being huge anymore. I care about being fit, and I care about being outside and riding and surfing and like having fun. Like, that's what I care about. I care about loving my wife. I care about having kids one day. I care about my dogs, you know, and that's just it. I know if I did take anything bad, that many people have said, like, if you do take stuff one day, like, you will look unbelievable. Like there won't even be like any competition, but that's not going to happen. Like that won't. So there's no reason to. Hard work does pay off. I'm telling you right now. Like I work out nearly every single day. And I treat my hustling business the same exact way. I practice, and I try to make it as perfect as I can, working part-time hustling, right? But I'm full-time physique dude, like, right? Um, and that's just how I treat it. I think it's important. I look at it like a game. It's like science-based and numbers and analytics. Like it's the same way I look at my physical fitness routine. It's all numbers and analytics, and it's science-based. And can you get enough sleep and things like that? So anyway, Henry S. And I'm getting smaller. Yeah, I might be getting smaller. I don't know. Like I can control my weight like you wouldn't believe. So if I decide I want to go through a bulking phase, I can bulk for a month and just be like 15, what seems to be 12 pounds heavier, like pretty quickly. If you're like a gorilla picker, it's always good to feel good and have a great build. Yeah, I feel great, but I don't know any better. Like this is the way I've always been. So like, not built, but I've always been fit, like always. But I really got built like starting in college. That's for another day. Like if you guys want to really talk about that one day, let's definitely get a Q&A going where you can ask me all kinds of questions. Mike Z, respect to the natties. Yep, natty all the way. Derpy McFly says, I like old school Schwinns and BMX bikes. Yeah, so old school Schwinns, they're in my guide and everything. Like I made a bike guide and old school Schwinns are in there. I've hustled many old school Schwinns before. It depends on what you consider old school Schwinn though, because when I think old school Schwinn, I am immediately thinking Stingray, like a Schwinn Stingray with a stick shift top, drum front brake. Yeah, like I'm thinking that, also known as muscle bikes with banana seats. Man, those things are crazy. I was able to hustle one successfully, although I almost lost it. But I want to say it was like 6 years ago. I was on Craigslist. I always surf the bike section on Craigslist multiple times a day. And because you can find a lot of miscategorized things, right? And there's a bike in my garage that is miscategorized like 100%. It was categorized as a rock hopper for 250, and I went there knowing it's not a rock hopper. It was a P1, like special edition P1 bike, $1,200 bike. But the person's like, it's a rock hopper. Like, no, it's not a rock hopper. Like, I know what this thing is. So I bought it for 250 anyway. So it's my dirt jumping bike. It's super awesome. But that's one of the reasons why I search every day on Craigslist. You can find some crazy deals like that. And I forgot my original train of thought now because I got so excited about that one thing. But let me read this comment real quick. Oh yeah, the Schwinn Stingray. So 6 years ago, surfing Craigslist, I was just looking through the pictures and I saw a Schwinn Stingray, like a muscle-looking bike, orange frame, like Schwinn, muscle bike, blah blah blah, like $100. And I looked further into the pictures and it said orange crate, and it had like a torn seat. I saw the stick shift thing on the top, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, God, please look at Schwinn Stingray muscle bike on eBay, sort by used and highest and sold. And you'll start seeing what these things command. Anyways, long story short, I show up to the house late at night. Like it was dark. I remember that. Big ass house, like kind of a mansion house. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here for the bike. And then like some headlights pull up behind the driveway. And this lady comes out. She's like, are you going to buy the bike? I was like, I looked right at it. I looked at the bike. I was like, holy crap, like $100? Really? And he's like, yeah, $100. It's like, yeah, I'll buy the bike. And I looked back at the lady. I was like, yeah, I want to buy the bike. She goes, oh, damn it. So apparently this dude had like double booked a Craigslist kind of ad kind of thing. But anyways, I almost lost this thing. So I kept it in my garage for like a year. I was going to like maybe restore it a little bit and ride it around. But then I was like, you know what? One day I just like, forget it. I'm just going to sell it. So I sold it on eBay for $5 something, like $550 or something like that. Pretty good. Small box too, because it was a tiny bike. But it just goes to show you. So yeah, and it had the stick shift and everything on it. And now, like just the stick shift alone, the shifter on the top of the bike, like those are going between $200 and $300 in used condition. Like so, look up Schwinn Stingrays. They're really cool. They made really good BMXs back in the day too. If you're lucky enough to find like a King Sting or something like that. Yeah, when I think vintage Schwinns, I'm thinking way past the cruiser bikes and everything. I'm thinking like this one thing. So, what else we got here? An orange crate. Yeah, it was an actual orange crate from like 71, was it? Something like that. Used test here. When you go to thrift stores, do you have to be there right when they're opening in the morning to find good stuff? No. I go, if there's a thrift store close and I have a couple minutes to spare, I will go in. Doesn't matter what time of day. I rarely find anything worthy when I'm going in the afternoon after work. Okay, so I think there's a couple things going on here. A, you might be going to the wrong thrift store because it could be just a really crappy one, like in the I don't know, like not in the ghetto, but you know what I'm saying. Like there's some bad ones and some good ones. The other thing that's going on here that could be happening is that you don't know enough. Okay, so take the time and get educated on everything possible. One of the best places to start. I'm going to toot my own horn here. But start watching my videos where it's like 8 items that sold on eBay fast or 10 items that sell over 50 bucks on eBay. Go through my video history and look for those particular titles. I think there's like a solid 8 or 10 videos, so that's a great place to start already. Go check that kind of stuff out. Yeah, they're 1 hour long videos, but I go into intense detail on each of those items, and I think that's really important because then you start to realize, like, okay, it's almost like a show. I really make the show a show where people can learn something new, or if they learned a little bit or they knew a little bit about a product, they'll now learn a lot more about it because I invested the time to teach. So go check out those shows and then figure it out. You know, like when I go to thrift stores, like I'm zooming through and everything like that. I'm decoding things, looking at zippers and quality and going like, oh my God, like I should pull that bag out real quick and take a look at it. I'm looking at barcodes. I'm looking at glassware. I'm looking at, you know, all kinds of stuff. Because through the green room, doing shows with other resellers over the years, like I've just learned so much, you know? So, and that's what you guys should do too, is like constant learning. And when you get around a community that's not riffraff oriented or just all the dumb posts are gone, right? Now you start learning at a much faster rate. I mean, it's like exponentially faster. And for that, I do believe there should be some sort of cost associated to it. So that's why the green room costs money. Okay, so another question here. Master Chief 88's in the house. Master Chief 88 says, I find better stuff in the morning. Afternoon is tough. You know, when I go, a lot of times now, like I hardly ever go to the thrift store like after 5 o'clock. But most of the times when I go to thrift stores, it's between the hours of like 11 and let's say 2. Like that's pretty much a window. Like a couple times during the week, I'll go on that window. Use Test here says, thanks, Chris. Yeah, I'm probably passing by a lot of good stuff. Yeah, so maybe you are, you know. Christian Saint Ange is saying, hey, there's an Apple crate on eBay. Buy it now, 1650, 1,650 bucks. So there's so many different types of Schwinn Stingray muscle bikes. There's like a pea picker, orange crate, apple crate, lemon peeler, gray ghost. I'm missing one. Did I say the pea picker? Anyway, there's that one. There's another one. There's one more. Silver, something. No, I don't know. There's something else. There's one more. Anyways, all those bikes command crazy money on eBay. Every single part of those bikes, if it's an original, like what, late 60s to early 70s model, every piece of those bikes down to the fenders are worth crazy money on eBay. So, yeah, if you're lucky enough to find one of those somewhere and someone doesn't know what they're worth, I mean, they're starting to reissue some of the Schwinn muscle bikes out now. They're hard to get though. Actually, they've been reissuing them for many years now. But recently, they reissued the lemon peeler, I want to say, and I tried to get one. I could not get one. They would try to reissue it for like 300 bucks, and I think realistically, if you kept it in the box as a repro, that you could actually, get maybe 600 to about 1,000 in about a couple years, I would think. So if you're lucky enough to get the Amazon deal on them, but I was not, so that kind of sucks. Anyway. So hold on real quick. Let me delete this. All right, some weird comment. Yeah, there's something grape oriented too. Yeah, there's another one. So anyway, there's a pea picker on eBay for $2,800. There's an apple crate on eBay. Buy it now, $1,650. An orange crate for $1,995. So yes, crazy stuff. All right, so I think that's pretty much all the questions. Let me. Oh, here we go. Adam A5177. Going through your bike guide. What's the best way when you're out at yard sales to figure out their value? You say what to look for. You say what to look for, the availability and speed of flip. But how do I know if it's a good buy? So one of the ways to do that is to see if the bike that's at the most important way is to like look at the garage sale or look at the thrift store and see if look at the brand of the bike first. That's the most important thing. And there are a fair amount of brands in my bike guide that I talk about that are like really easy to find kind of brands. I think I'd go as far as even saying Univega. It's not the greatest brand, but I would still hustle a Univega if I got a chance every now and then. But all the decent brands are in that guide. Not many boutique mountain bike or road bike brands are in that guide. Like you're not going to find a Parley or I don't know if I put Serrata in there, an Evil or anything like that, or Pivot. Like the bike guide was created to show you what you're more than likely going to find when you're at a garage sale or thrift store. Okay, like that's basically 80% of the bikes that are out there sold in America are probably going to be these type of bikes. Well, maybe a little less, like 60%. Like all the other ones will be boutique type brand bikes that are on Craigslist and stuff. Things that are way out of your most people's price range to acquire and reflip, and you would have to have an insane amount of knowledge to even get through that kind of stuff. The bikes that are in my bike guide are bikes that are commonly found for a couple bucks all the way up to maybe like 100 a bike, and the ones that you can sell for easily more than that. So look at the brand first and then assess condition of the bike. So important. Like, how do the wheels look? Is it warped? What's the tire condition? Can you even inflate the tires when you get home? Will they hold air enough for a person to like take it for a test drive? Shift the cables a tiny bit, see if everything moves. And then from there, the most important thing, since 95% of the bikes that I've ever sold go locally, I think the most important thing to do is to just take that bike brand. Like, say you find a Trek 820. Two things you can do: check 820 Google Images, see if you can find it real quick. Go, okay, it's a 1995 820, and then go Trek 820 1995 Craigslist. Search that on Google real quick. You'll see a bunch of like random things, and it'll say like 120, 100. Or you can just put Trek 820 Craigslist. Search all the Craigslist around the country, get into a couple ads, and go, okay, they're all asking 80, 120, 150, and then from there you can kind of see what this thing is worth. I didn't put actual prices to each model of every bike brand manufacturer. Like, it would take forever. It would just be impossible. But the best way to find an accurate today's price of a bike brand that's to flip is to just do the bike, the model, and then Craigslist into Safari or Google or whatever, and then go through a couple of them, maybe 3 of them, and then you'll start realizing like, okay, cool. There might be a couple of levels of trim, right? Like if you deal with a stump jumper, there's a stump jumper comp, a stump jumper elite, there's a stump jumper expert, a stump jumper S-Works model. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always different trim as well. So it's nearly impossible to put all that in a bike guide, but I made sure that the bike guide would, at least get you 80% of the way there. I can't get it 100% because it'd be impossible. All right, I think that's pretty much it. I've been doing the show for a while. I guess that's pretty much the last question. How do you know of an eBay app that can download info for offline use in bad coverage areas? I do not know. No, I don't. When is the Bonafide Doppio guide coming out? I should make one. Let me ask you this. This is a good question, because I was thinking about making another guide. Okay, I can make guides on all kinds of stuff, but I was thinking about making another guide, but instead of like dressing it all up and incurring the cost of like massive amounts of editing and like making it snazzy looking and everything like that, I was thinking about making it a lot simpler than that. I'm talking about like very raw. Yeah, I might have some typos and stuff, whatever. Very raw, on a Word document, pictures just together, nothing crazy. I'll convert the Word document to a PDF, and then I would self-edit it. And instead of it being like a $40 guide or a $30 guide or a $50 guide, I would just make it a $10 guide. Like, what do you guys think about that kind of process? Like, do you guys want to see it all dressed up and snazzy and all crazy looking and everything like that? Or do you guys want me to make a guide that's because I've been thinking about making one for RC. RC is such a wonderful thing to hustle. Like, you have no idea. So, I could put it all together and everything like that. But to get it, to start incurring the cost of all the editing and the, making it snazzy or the dressing it up, making it look all cool. I was just thinking like, yeah, maybe just pay to get the graphic done right and then make it raw, a PDF, keep the cost low, pass the savings on to you guys. What do you think? It's been going on through my head for the past 2 weeks. I thought it was all about the content too, but anyway, yeah, who knows? Kristen St. Ange is saying, this is the last question I'm going to do here. Any value in the old M2 ceramic stump jumper? Ceramic, is that the right term? Stump jumpers that are M2s are always aluminum. Are there any value in the old M2 ceramic stump jumpers? If If you find an M2 frame stump jumper, it's likely aluminum. Could be, I guess it could be steel. Steel stump jumpers are really amazing. Like if you can find a late 80s or mid 80s steel stump jumper, you're going to be really rolling in decent money, especially the one with the triangular stem. My God. Um, but a stump jumper is still a really good model to look at in specialized lineup. Like it's probably the most well-known model out there, and then followed by I would say the rock hopper, and then maybe the enduro, and then the hard rock or something like that. So um, yeah, Specialized is a good brand. There are lots of great models to hustle when it comes to stump jumpers, but I think people that are on eBay, if you find a stump jumper locally, you can move it like in 2 seconds. My brother just moved his stump jumper, sold it for $500. He bought it for $575 like 3 or 4 years ago. Used the absolute hell out of it and sold it for $500. Of course, I supervised that deal. I made it happen. I found the thing, but and he sold it with a dead front shock too. Like, if you buy right, you can have incredible experiences in your life and still come out ahead. So anyways, that's pretty much the last question about the stump jumpers. I think they're great bikes. Christian St. Ange does live in Austin, Texas. We should definitely hook up and get you in the hot seat and do some stuff. But yeah, so definitely interested in an RC guide. It's all about the content, exactly, low cost, focus on the content. I could totally do this, but I want people to understand, like, that's the whole premise behind it. I might even call it like raw flipping or something like that, or that way you guys know, like, I literally just compiled this stuff together and pictures and stuff and created something and kept the cost so low, because the costs do become incrementally higher when you start figuring out, is it going to be on a website? What kind of hosting does it need? Like all kinds of stuff. Or does it, how dressed up is this guide going to be? And all the costs start going up from there. But those don't need to be incurred. I can move this thing for much, much cheaper. So anyways, think about it, guys. That's pretty much shoot, I cannot believe this video went like an hour and a half, but it is good to see you guys. Hopefully you got some good information out of it, and I read some good questions. The most important thing is, I think, to watch your favorite YouTubers, listen to their content, and listen actively, right? Even if it's in the background, as long as you're actively sort of listening to it, because all it takes is one good kind of like idea to make you go to eBay and like look up, like, oh my God, like, that's totally true. And so I hope that when you watch my videos that you guys get these little tidbits or nuggets, right? But you always have to do more than the nugget to make the money. I just try to drop a lot of nuggets in my shows so that you guys can do the next step. So remember, there are a lot of steps after you get the knowledge, but the most important thing is to get the knowledge and not just be like, oh, okay, cool, I heard it, like, big deal. Is to do something more, like go out to a thrift store, try to actively look at it, like, or if you hear me talking about these Schwinn Stingrays, maybe try to locate a bike store in town that has one, so you can see one in real life, so you can see it and touch the stick shift and go, damn, like, that's crazy, so you can see the shock absorbing rear banana seat, and you'll start to understand like what it is that commands money, so think about it. That's pretty much the show. I'll see you guys on the next Bonafide Hustler Hangout. We got a wonderful green room show coming down this Wednesday. I'll be live maybe later on today as well, but definitely tomorrow. It was good talking to you guys. I hope you learned something. I really do. And don't forget to support your favorite YouTubers. You know how to do it. There's like 6 different ways to do it. But hit the like button. Make sure you comment. Get yourself a Cheddar Weather shirt. You can super chat me one day. You can join the green room. You can get this amazing guide. You can... There's just a million ways to do it, But thanks for watching the video. That's the most important thing. Have a good day, guys. Take it easy.